Good morning and happy September the 1st. This is Michelle, and I just wanted to start the month off right. And the Lord is wanting me to share with you some things. As you know, been trying to get out of my comfort zone. So, back in my late teens, early 20s, I lived on the streets. And here in this area, there was no soup kitchen, there was no homeless shelter in this area, and I didn't have a car license or an education or a place to stay every night that was dependable, or food for that matter. So why am I bringing that up? It can mess your metabolism up really bad. So when you get food irregularly, it makes it very challenging to later on lose weight, because your body's thinking, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to get food again, so let's hold on to whatever we get. So, some days I had crackers, I remember those crackers, it's the bacon cheddar crackers, and then there was some, I remember every once in a while was ramen noodles, potted meat. I know a lot of this stuff's not healthy. What else did I eat? Let's see, I remember eating pork and beans out of a can because there was no way to cook it. So, when you're like that, you don't have much of options. You do what you have to do. And I wasn't on alcohol or drugs. I did smoke cigarettes back then, and that was a challenging life. I mean, I'm very blessed now. The Lord has brought me so far, and I think He wants me to help people. That's why I'm talking to God about what are His desires. His desires are make us help people be healthier, stronger, be a good testimony for Him. And a lot of people damage their metabolism when they are, I didn't do it on purpose. What was I didn't have many options. I didn't have family around here or anything to depend on. Those that know me know about my history and know the struggles and challenges that I've faced, whether family-wise or, just financially and all of that. So, but yeah, I took some notes here because I wanted to try to remember what God was sharing with me. Sometimes when He speaks to you and you're not in the position to share it right away, you need to write it down. Journal it. Write down what is God saying to you. If it's important enough that He feels like He needs to share it with you, He may want you to share it with others because it could help somebody. I want to make sure my goals are in line with His Word. But on to my story, that then when I got married to the husband I am with now, he fed me well. He fed me well. So how did my body respond to that? Well, it still was messed up from the homelessness and lack of food. So my body was like, we're going to hold on to everything because we never know if tomorrow is going to not be food. So it's hoarding. It's still hoarding right here. It's hoarding. Even when I was homeless, this belly was there. I don't recall ever having a flat belly as a kid or a teenager. I came from a family that ate fast food all the time. So, I remember at one point I gained maybe 15 pounds in 2 weeks. Right? Is that healthy? Not really. So, I can't eat like others. I hear about women that can eat 2,000 calories and their metabolisms are really good. So it really it burns off quickly. That's why I found that for me, excessive cardio, because when I was homeless, I walked everywhere I went. You thought, well, maybe I was in shape, but not really. I was skinny fat maybe, but I wasn't really skinny neither. You know, that's why you see sometimes probably, I can't speak for other people that's been homeless and are homeless. Their situations are different than mine. So, you know, I found that lifting weights and strength training has been a tremendous help because that helps boost your metabolism by gaining muscle and losing body fat. Sometimes when you're doing excessive cardio, your body's going to burn off the muscle instead of the fat, because fat is going to really sustain you longer, you know, in the long run. So yeah, from about, you know, like I said, 18 on up to my early 20s, somewhere I was, you know, in that situation. Then when I got about 23 and I met my husband, I bloomed. 23 to about 38, 39 years old, I've been around 200 pounds. Yes. And that's probably, I didn't have my body fat checked during that time, but I imagine I was over 40% body fat. Very unhealthy. I believe the books I've got says 31% or higher is technically obese. So struggling to get out of that obese mode is hard. Trust me. I work my butt off mainly with my diet and eating correctly. And I don't lift weights excessively because you want to remain safe. I've learned through trial and error and making mistakes that sometimes lifting weights can, if you don't do it correctly, and that's where a personal trainer should come in. That's why you need one, because I've learned from my mistakes lifting on my own that if you don't breathe right and you don't move right when you're lifting heavy weights, you can do some damage. Yes. Lifting without breathing properly, you can bust a eardrum. I did that. So a personal trainer can make sure you're doing it right. You can pull a lower back muscle. I've done that. If you turn incorrectly. So the reason why you need maybe a trainer or someone to come help spot you and make sure you're doing it right, someone knowledgeable, they're going to make sure you're not going to get hurt. They're going to make sure you're doing it correctly. You know, I still have to ask for assistance to check me and make sure my posture is correct, because you're not thinking, oh, am I doing this right? So, but yes. And okay, so this video, I want you to know your starting point. You need to know your starting point. It's September the 1st. These are really cheap. You can get them at Walmart, or most grocery stores even sell these. A tape measure, okay? Take your measurements and write them down today, this week, this weekend. It's best to do it before you eat, because sometimes some foods will bloat you, sodium will bloat you, you know. And why you want a lower body fat in the healthy range is not to have a six-pack abs. This ain't about being the fittest, leanest person in the world. It's about being healthy. 31% or over is obese. There's health risks due to that. Diabetes, breathing issues, heart trouble just getting around. Are you glorifying God in that? I mean, if you can be technically obese and you are content, you are still able to be physically active and do the things that God calls you to do as an obese person, then more power to you. I'm not speaking to you because you're happy where you're at. And if you're happy where you're at and you have no issues with your health and the doctor says you're good, then stay where you're at. But if you're not happy where you're at and you feel like God wants you to be stronger and healthier, you know, I'm here for you. And there's others that are here for you. Have your spouse or your friend join you. And come to the Waffle House run Monday morning, Labor Day. It starts at 7 a.m. The run starts. And you can walk it. A lot of people walk it. So don't think I'm asking you to run, because trust me, I'm not the best runner. I don't technically run. I try. So, But you join in. It's free. It's a free run. It's a fun thing where a whole bunch of people get together and just enjoy each other's time and start Labor Day off correctly and healthy. But yes, take your measurements. There's several websites, and if you are interested, I'll let you know where to go to. You can Google body fat percentage calculator, and it will give you just an estimation. It's not 100% accurate. The only accurate way to measure body fat 100% is by an autopsy when you're dead, and we just need an estimation, a starting point. You can't get from point A to point B unless you know where you're at. You know, when you travel on the road and you're taking a trip, you need to put in the Google Maps your starting point, point A, where you are at. You need to know point A before you can get to point B, okay? You need to measure progress. Say, hey, I'm almost there. Okay, so, but these body fat calculators you Google, they'll ask for certain measurements. Some will ask for your weight, because that's a good, and some ask for your height, and they'll ask for your neck measurement. So you take this, measure your neck. One measures your forearm, one your wrist, your smallest part of your wrist, because you don't carry a lot of fat in certain areas. Some measure your waist and your hips, okay, the biggest part of your hips. If you need help, there's several videos online. I don't need to show you everything that will help you know how to take these measurements accurately. This is if you are nervous about having me or someone else check these for you. But if you want someone, a professional or myself, to help you with taking your body fat measurements and calculations for your starting point, please don't put it off. You know, this challenge ends October the 27th when I pass out prizes. And one prize is the measurement thing and body fat. And another one is logging on MyFitnessPal. I need to have access to look at your food diary. You know, I'm not asking you to cut back anything right now. There's nothing to cut back on. Just log your food and your drinks. And I'm not judging you. I just want to see the person that logs the most days from here till October the 27th will get the prize, the biggest prize. I'm believing I have set aside $50 for that prize. You can do this. And I don't care if you log a 12-pack of beer on MyFitnessPal. I'm not the one to judge you on what you eat or drink. That's God's job. And that's between you and God. You need to know what you're taking in, because we all mindlessly eat. Trust me, I love pizza. It's an addiction of mine, but if I have to, I can live without it. And I don't eat it every day. So, but I do know what it does to me. And yeah, so log on, get started on MyFitnessPal today, September the 1st. Let me know how I can find you on MyFitnessPal, or I'll let you know. Message me. And this challenge, you need to, it's September the 1st. I did say if you joined in September, the challenge, it would be $10. But, you know, I'm still going to say until after Labor Day, $5. We can meet up, and we do need to meet up. How are you going to get your prize? Because it's going to be cash, right? So I like to meet with my group the beginning of the challenge, midpoint at least, if not weekly, for meal prep ideas, for just answering questions and getting feedback. I need to know how well my group is doing. So September, the end of September, and then October the 27th is when we're meeting for the finale prizes given out, and we'll have a good time. We'll have brunch after we come in the morning. That Saturday morning, we'll have a good time, and we will just learn about each other and be a support group for each other. But you are welcome to bring in your husband or your best friend if they are wanting to join in to support you It's always good to have a support group. But yes, ask yourself, are these in line with what God wants for you? Is this something He wants? You need to be aware of where you're at. But yeah, do take the measurements and ask God what He wants you to do, because you can help other people and everything. So, metabolism damage can affect your overall health in the long run. It can make it harder to lose weight. I know. I still struggle with that. It's I just struggle with making sure I'm at a healthy body fat percentage. My body wants to hold on to it. And if you're like me, you know, then you know how it is. And I want to help other people, women and their spouses, best friends, whatever. You know, I'm not going to totally exclude men out of this challenge. I just feel more comfortable if they have their a female friend, girlfriend, or wife. You know, that way, you know, I'm learning, and we're all learning. We're going to all do this together. We're going to all learn together. Okay, so join me. Come up to me on Labor Day morning at the run sometime, and I'll be there between probably 6:45 to okay, the run starts at 8:30. So I'll be there between 6:45-ish to 8:30. Part of that time is going to be on the road from Waffle House to the old Waffle House on Northeast Connector. So be there. Meet me at it's the only open Waffle House left. And I will catch you in the next video and hopefully see you then. So have a great Labor Day weekend and rest. Take your starting points and contact me. Private message me. And if you know my email me, text me, whatever. I want to help you guys out. This is a long video, I'm sorry. So have a great weekend. Bye.